New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
And a very pleasant Friday evening to you across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and yes, always guaranteed exciting edition of the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. And I am the Reverend Michael Mangus. I am broadcasting this evening from the Charles Fillmore secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in an extremely secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret. Only one person. That's Diego Reyes. Only he knows where it's located. Everyone else, especially that Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, who cringes every time I say it, but he's my boss. He does not know where the top secret bunker is located, and we are going to keep it that way. That's right. Well, hi there. Welcome. We do have a wonderful show for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting your comments on YouTube or Facebook. And again, all my shy people out there, I know some of you just, you don't want to comment. I get that. Just send me an email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, and I will read that during the week. The purpose of our Fireside Chat here, our weekly gathering, is for us to get our beverage, put a log on the fire, and to talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought/spiritual perspective. And as I was sharing at the Radio Professionals lunch today, a lot of you don't like the news. I get that. And you've gone ahead and you've cut your news time Yes. So we need to just be informed. And so that's why we have our very casual conversation here every Friday evening. All right. Once again, from the great state of Tennessee, we have for you this evening, my friend,
Reverend Jeff Radcliff,
formerly of the state of confusion, of West Virginia, Divine Science Minister, Reverend Jeff.
I'm liking it. I'm getting into
Like
it.
that?
Yeah.
Well, hey, for you, we had to pay big bucks to Tom for that.
Well, and it's going to be worth your pay cut to pay for that. Oh,
What? My pay cut?
you haven't talked to Rev Doc yet, have you?
We will in a moment. What do you mean pay cut? Okay.
Oh,
All right. Now, you said that you had something happen during the Divine Science Everywhere show, which is at 4:00 Eastern, 2:00 Mountain Time today here on the New Thought Media Network. You had my boss on, the
Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Robert Brzezinski, and he told you what?
He told everybody who was tuned in, told everybody that you were being demoted
What?
from host of Friday Fireside Chat. In fact, what he said was he paid you a compliment, because he talked about his in-house engineer, Reverend Mangus,
Who works for nothing, but go ahead.
and then he said, who co-hosts Friday Fireside Chat with Reverend Jeff, which means that you are no longer top dog. You are no longer it on a stick,
All right.
baby. You are a sidekick now.
Okay, well, no. When you want to, you can go ahead and you can pull up all the slides and all the news stories. You can spend the 2 to 3 hours and put that together, and then I will come in at 5 minutes till.
No, that's what the sidekick guys do. You might as well just be an intern, dude.
You mean one of those media interns?
Yeah.
Where you go get the coffee?
Yep. Clean the bathroom. Dust off the little tchotchkes and knickknacks and things.
All right. Well, again, we want to thank Tom Daniels Voice at gmail.com for producing those for us. We really appreciate that, Tom. Thank you so very much. Tom being a top-notch voice talent, plus also does imaging for a lot of money. A lot of money. So anyhow,
good work.
Yes. So Jeff, how has your week been?
It's been interesting. It's I'm like everybody else. I have some ups, some downs. Mostly it's in the middle there. But it's interesting in that my downs have come up in elevation a little bit. So instead of being in a valley or whatever,
right,
a little divot on a golf course.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's actually been
better.
It's been a very good week. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to say hi this evening to one of my radio friends, Tim Davison. Tim was on a radio station that I used to listen to when I was a teenager, and that he has never yet played a request of mine.
Oh.
Never. Not even on YouTube.
Well, what kind of songs are you asking him to play?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay.
I'll top 40 songs. The stuff that we used to bop around with and on in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, this has been an interesting week for yours truly. Yeah. I wish everything was all like happy and great. Unfortunately, well, this would have been happy and great. Going down to Hamvention, the Greene County Fair and Expo Center is expected to run over again this weekend by the world's largest amateur radio convocation. Hamvention 2025 events began today. And Hamvention has announced its 2025 theme, which is Radio Independence, to signify and to celebrate the way that radio has evolved into the current age of media and breaking through its previous limitations. I thought all you had to do was just, get a box and turn it on. But anyhow, last year's event had a record-setting attendance despite a day of rain. You know what? If it ain't raining, it ain't Dayton. That's what they tell us down there. And Hamvention has been held annually since 1952. Now, this is the sad news this week. That's the picture of the fairgrounds with all those 30-some thousand amateur radio operators. That's my buddy who passed this week. One of the reasons... Go ahead. Okay. One of the reasons why I am doing this today is because of this man who passed last Sunday, Ted Randall, whose call sign was WB8PUM of Lebanon, Tennessee. He signed off the air for the last time last Sunday, saying 73s, they'll be having a going home service for him on Monday. Known by his amateur radio call sign WB8PUM, Ted hosted the QSO show for over 20 years, connecting listeners and operators around the globe. And my connection to Ted was that it was during his show, listening to the QSO show back in 2015, that I got interested again in amateur radio. And that I went ahead and I got my overachiever here. I got not only my amateur license, but also my commercial radio operator's license. But this is what I wrote. It says, it's been a rough couple of days since being told of Ted Randall's passing. Ted was a great broadcaster and engineer. It was listening to the QSO show that motivated me to get my licenses from the FCC. I will always be in Ted's debt for getting me into the hobby and also encouraging my broadcast ministry. My prayers are with Holly Mislin and his family. Godspeed, Ted Randall. Well done, thou good and faithful servant.
I'm sorry to hear of his passing.
Yeah.
You said he was in Lebanon, Tennessee?
Yeah.
That's just a little over an hour from where I am.
Yeah, Ted, again, a real good friend. I met him at Hamvention, and that I helped his wife, Holly, last year set up the remote and tear it down, too, for the radio station. And so, yeah, it's been an interesting week. And when I see posts of people with their latest purchase down at Hamvention, on Facebook, I go, well, yeah, my schedule did not work out this year to go down, but anyhow, yeah, saying 73, which is best wishes, WB8PUM, until we meet again. Now, for the happy part of our show.
Oh, we get to make fun of people now?
The news.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I wanted to show you one more picture here.
Okay.
This was us last year at Hamvention. That's Rhea. Rhea's Radio Shack that was one of the shows on WRMI. So Rhea Jerem, who's a very well known in the amateur radio community, talking with Ted Randall. All right.
Very cool.
And now.
Oh boy, here we go.
And now the news. Guitar's gift to Trump is an unsold plane that it's trying and has been trying to dump for years. The
This
Boeing
is a spin I haven't
747 that's being offered to Donald Trump by it's
Qatar.
Qatar. Okay, that I was pronouncing it right. By Qatar, that once served the Qatari royal family, has been sitting unsold for years. The jet, a lavishly configured version of Boeing's largest passenger aircraft, has been lingering around on an airfield, collecting dust for the past several years. Since 2020, according to aircraft listings and aviation analysts. So, Trump has publicly expressed frustration with Boeing's year-long delay in delivering 2 modified 747s for presidential use. What is wrong with the current Air Force One? What is wrong with it?
It's 40 years old. It doesn't have those gaudy gold fixtures in the latrine, in the bathroom.
Okay. The president...
It's just not appropriate for a dictator, president to fly around in.
Yes, for a dictator. The president has argued that by accepting Qatar's offer, he can bypass delays and save the U.S. taxpayers' money. Critics, however, fear that the acceptance would be unethical and even unconstitutional. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
Well, there's a lot of talk in the intelligence community about how this is probably not a good thing for him to take this plane, because they think it's going to be riddled with bugs and listening devices and, you know, all kinds of little spy gadgets and whatnot. But here's the thing that Mango is missing, and that is Boeing may have delayed, you know, the 2 new Air Force One jets,
right?
But they're going to come out in a year or so.
Yes.
So he will have use of them.
Both of them.
Yeah. This plane from Qatar is going to have to be broken down. It's going to have to be scrubbed. It's going to have to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb, and then it's going to have to be refurbished. By the time that's done, he's going to be out of office. He'll never get to use it.
Well, no, hold it. I thought that he could take it with him.
No, he can't. That's unconstitutional.
Oh, come on.
That goes against the emollients clause. And he's already talking about how as soon as he leaves office, the plane is going to his presidential library.
Okay, hold it here. Qatar. Yes. Thank you, Tim. My radio friend, Tim Davison. Yes. Qatar. Thank you.
So
yes. Thank you, Tim. Yes, go ahead.
But it goes against the emoluments clause. Congress has to approve this. They have not, and they will not. Surely not. This is just not a good idea all the way around. And if he thinks he's going to take that with him when he leaves office, he's got another thing coming, because it's not going to happen.
Well, no.
That is a gift to the United States, not to him personally. And if it's to him personally, he has to report it, and they're not going to let him keep it. He's going to have to give it away.
From commenting on Qatar's offer, Donald Trump wrote on Truth Social last Sunday, the Boeing 747 is being given to the United States Air Force Department of Defense, not to me, all in caps. It's a gift from Qatar that we have successfully defended for many years. It will be used by our government as a temporary Air Force One until such time as our new Boeings, which are very late on delivery, arrive. Why should our military, and therefore our taxpayers, be forced to pay hundreds of millions of dollars, which they're going to have to pay anyhow, Donald, when they can get it for free, of which they're not, from a country that wants to reward us for a job well done. How about bribe? This big savings will be spent instead to make America great again. Only a fool would not accept this gift on behalf of our country. So what happens next here? So while Trump is eager to accept the gift, bipartisan concerns, that means on both sides, Democrats and Republicans, in Washington over the ethics of the transaction remain and could spark legal challenges. Your comments, Reverend Jeff.
You need to, first of all, you need to stop reading his talking points because it's nothing but bullshit. It's nothing, you know, he's making no sense. He's playing up to his crowd, who don't seem to realize that they're being played. The rest of the United States and the rest of Congress surely are not that stupid, but you never know. But it's blatantly unconstitutional. This has been brought out time and time again, and he keeps saying, "Oh, it would be stupid to really take, you know, to refuse this gift." Well, it's not a gift if we have to spend billions of dollars to refurbish the damn thing, you know?
Right. And again, I had another story about all the corruption that's going on with this current administration, with the cryptocurrency, with the deals that they made for the Trump organization over there, for the billions of dollars that are being exchanged. So Qatar and the rest of them, Saudi Arabia, are grifting here. And that, unfortunately, right now he's getting away with it. And especially his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, said, "Oh, he can accept the plane. That's okay." How can he do that?
On her. The whole administration is so out of their league. None of them are qualified for their jobs, and she's up there saying, "Oh, he can do this and that and the other," and it's in the Constitution, plain and simple, what it is he's allowed to do and not allowed to do, and they're just kind of like closing their eyes and they've got their fingers in their ears. They're going, "La la 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 la, we can't hear you." She doesn't know what she's talking about either. Unfortunately,
when it's going to come back,
it's not legal for him to take it.
Right. And this is going to come back to haunt them.
Mm-hmm.
And that if a Democratic president did this, they, talking about the Republicans, would be screaming bloody murder about this. So if you are doing it now, what prevents the Democrats from doing it? And that's why I'm saying here again, let's just follow the Constitution. Let's just go ahead and follow what the Founding Fathers told us to do. There's a reason why the emoluments clause is in there. And that's because, again, stuff like this.
Yeah.
You can't bribe an official of the United States government. It's just not in the Constitution. I know. But wait.
There's more? Oh my gosh.
This time, the Episcopalians are in trouble. Oh, yes. Did you see this? So the Episcopalian Church landed into the crosshairs of a mega tantrum after it scrapped a long-standing agreement with the government over a controversial Trump policy. The church's decision came after 49 white South Africans arrived in the U.S. as refugees, part of a ruling from President Donald Trump, who accused their nation's government of discriminating against whites. The church declared that it would refuse to help resettle them, following criticism that white Afrikaners were being allowed to leapfrog a system in which thousands of people were stuck in dangerous circumstances for years. It defies a long-standing partnership with the government to help newly arrived refugees. According to the Episcopal Church, Jesus doesn't love white people, wrote right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. And if that wasn't enough, Alex Jones demanded an end of support for the church. And he said this: all federal funds must be pulled from the Episcopal Church. It is time to enforce the separation of church and state. As I drop my jaw and say, what do you think's going on here? You have Christian nationalists that want to infuse their view of Christianity, and you're calling for the separation of church and state? Well, anyhow, the church receives $50 million a year from the Joe Biden administration to resettle refugees. It resettled 6,500 people from 48 different countries in the U.S. during 2024 alone. Being asked to resettle 50 white people from South Africa is too much, though. Reverend Sean Rowe, who is the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, told members in a letter that it had refused to help resettlement. And again, he said, in the light of our church's steadfast commitment to racial justice and reconciliation and our historic ties with the Anglican Church of South Africa, we are not able to take this step. Your views.
Yeah. Did you see the one guy that they talked to from South Africa who was it? I don't know why everybody thinks that we're white supremacists and we're racist. Some of my best friends are black. Well, excuse me, my dude. I got to tell you, when you say some of my best friends are black, gay, Hispanic, whatever, that is proof positive that you are racist, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever. You blew the damn dog whistle, dude.
How can not people see that this bringing in 48 white Afrikaners, why can't people see that this is racist as all get out? I don't understand.
Well, it's
Go
not
ahead.
racist. It's not racist if you don't have any melanin in your skin. That's the thinking.
Again, folks, that's the reason why we need to keep up the action. We need to continue being out in the streets, speaking up, speaking out, calling our congressmen and women calling our representatives and saying enough is enough here. This is crazy. This is lunacy. Did you actually vote for this? All of my Trump supporters? Did you actually vote for stuff like this? I don't know.
It's a lengthy piece, but I got an email back from one of my senators, Senator Bill Haggerty, and I will call him by name because he and our other senator, Marsha Blackburn, from the state of Tennessee, both are a couple of pieces of work like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
I do believe in what you said about people contacting their representatives to express their views. I wrote to both Senator Blackburn and Senator Haggerty about the budget cuts to the Veterans Administration because I are one.
Yes.
And to the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this word salad email that said absolutely nothing. He thanked me for taking time to contact him about the federal funding challenges facing our nation and how he always appreciates hearing from his constituents and he takes our thoughts seriously. Then he goes on to talk about the Office of Management and Budget sent this budget request and it provides for President Trump's recommendations for discretionary spending levels. And then he goes on and telling me stuff that I already knew. He didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. But he didn't say anything about the budget cuts that I asked about specifically. What he said was that the budget delivers on Trump's promise to the American people to rein in wasteful spending and downsize the federal bureaucracy.
BS.
While prioritizing critical investments in our military and border security to keep America safe. And so, yeah. And then he went, this is very, I'm not giving you everything that he said, but at the very end of it, he said, I encourage you to continue following my efforts to serve all Tennesseans and to provide feedback. Please accept my best wishes. Well, what he gave were his best wishes with one hand while giving a finger, and you can guess which one, with the other. So, yeah, I believe in what you said. We need to continue to speak our mind and let these people know where we stand. But don't hold your breath thinking that they're going to give a shit, because they don't.
And guess what? They're all coming up for re-election. Every single darn one of them. And that then hopefully that we can vote some of these people out of office. And again, the trends are right now is that the Democrats will take over both the House and the Senate in 2026. But again, we're not at 2026 yet. So that's why I'm just saying to everybody out there, again, keep your peace. They're going to do what they're going to do out there. Let not your hearts be troubled. Have faith in God and have faith in me. Have faith in yourself. And that we're going to get through this here. And again, to not let the fire burn you, but to let it purify you. And guess what? We need to take a break. And then guess what we're going to do?
Ooh. Tell me.
We're going to have Reverend Jeff's story of the week, of which I still have to work on.
Yeah, that echo effect is really lacking. Maybe Tim can help us out with that.
Yeah, well, Tim. See, every time
help him, man.
You don't understand what maybe Tim Davison?
Yeah.
No.
We'll bring in the big guns.
Oh. You can go ahead and comment, Tim. Well, see, every time you say that, Tom Daniels goes ahead and starts adding up how much it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And then I have to give the bill to Reverend Dr. Brzezinski.
so it's no wonder why he cut your salary, demoted you. Yeah, because you was
He
like a
demoted-
hot mess.
Well, him and I will have a discussion on Monday.
I'm sure.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break here. Just wanted to let everyone know, hi, this is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. And yours truly is currently assisting at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There you can get information about our Zoom call and our Sunday morning service online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, your boba tea, whatever floats your boat. And we do have one of the best services, I do believe, in New Thought. And this Sunday, we'll have as a guest speaker, author, and educator, the Reverend Dr. Carol Ann Drick. So go to summitcsl.org for more information. We are going to take a really, really quick break, and then we'll be back with Reverend Jeff's Story of the Week. You're listening to the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network.
What if the person you think you are is just a fraction of who you truly are? What if years of conditioning and surviving in a challenging world have left you clinging to strategies and beliefs that mask your truest nature? I'm Catherine Duca, psychotherapist and self-esteem coach, and you're listening to Who Do You Think You Are? A show that looks beneath our psychological masks and uncovers our profoundly messy, beautiful, brilliant, tender-hearted essence. Join me as we go in search of the hidden power of our true selves. I'm so glad you're here.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And we're back, and we have a response from Tim, who says, Pastors, we are truly in crazy land. God help us.
And that's why you and I will skewer some of these people, and we make fun of them sometimes. And we have to take the sting out, because this is some serious stuff we're dealing with. But if we can kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and show the wizard back there behind everything, and show for what it is, then that takes the power away from them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have an answer to your production request from Tim.
Yeah, I know.
Says, not my area, would help if I could.
Well, thanks a lot,
Well,
Tim.
Jim, no, Tom Daniels has all the equipment. So
Yeah.
So we'll let Tom do it. All right.
Okay. That'll work.
Is that okay?
Yeah, why not? Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for that much requested segment of our program that has its own jingle. Do you believe that? Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Reverend of story of the week. Just as a note that I can see. My said to tell me what to see. When W7 and all starts K. Reverend of story of the week. Just cause a note that I can see. My said to tell me what to see. When W7 and all starts K. Reverend of story, story, Reverend of story, story.
If that does not win a Grammy, I will be very pissed.
Oh, I'll tell you what you mean for your jingle?
Yeah, that deserves an award, man. That deserves an award. Yeah.
All right. Take it away,
Well,
Reverend Jeff.
Part of why I like to do this segment is simply because, like we were talking about earlier, we're trying to take the power away from the negativity in the news. That's why I like to focus on some positive things on occasion. And this one I came up with because of one of the photographs, and we'll show you that in just a moment. Don't put it up yet, Michael. But next year, Queen Elizabeth would have been 100 years old. And 5 of the most renowned design studios and architecture firms in the United Kingdom have been putting up memorials for consideration. Let's put it that way. Because one of these will eventually go into St. James Park to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's extraordinary life. You've got a company who has made a giant tree out of cast bronze. Okay. There's another memorial that consists of 2 intertwining bridges that go across the lake in St. James Park. Another looks to the nation's past with an equestrian statue along one of the tree-lined streets that go through the park. And of course, we all know that Queen Elizabeth was quite the horsewoman back in her day. Another of the memorials up for contention focuses on her place as a bedrock of the nation by connecting a series of glades with a bridge made of literal bedrock. But the one, and Michael, you can go ahead and put this picture up now. This is the one that caught my attention. It's supposed to be a series of lily pad platforms across that lake in St. James Park. And yeah, okay, it's a lily pad. That's what they say it is. I will take their word for it. But that thing at the top looks more like they've taken a head of garlic and just kind of cut it in half. That's what it looked like to me. But it's not. It's I'm assuming that is part of the Lotus, the Lotus whatever. But the themes are basically are pretty clear. They're bringing people. They're to bring people together. They're to bridge nations and try to bridge divides. And to bring in a love of nature. A landscape architect that they talked to had proposed to render a centuries-old oak that's found in Windsor Great Park and turn it into bronze. And so they tried to do that. It's nice. It's set up on a pedestal in the water, visible from a bridge made of stones taken from all over the United Kingdom. They are working their British behinds off to get these ready for next year to celebrate the Queen's 100th birthday. So I thought that this was actually pretty cool to see something nice, something positive come out in the midst of all the craziness that's going on in the world. To see something that is quietly monumental, as was quoted, with like the lily-themed bridge and featuring that lily-themed canopy. So, yeah, this is why I picked this particular story this week to contemplate what the Queen brought to the people of the Commonwealth, and how much they actually loved her, and some of the artistic efforts to honor her.
And
so that is my story of the week.
the reason you picked it was because you know that legal did not authorize any F-bombs
I
for
know.
this story.
I know. Well, this is a story that doesn't lend itself well to an F-bomb. So.
All right. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Reverend Jeff's story of the week.
Week. Don't forget the echo.
Okay. You know what?
What's that?
Donald has ticked off the boss.
Uh-oh.
President Donald Trump has some words for the boss, Bruce Springsteen. In a Friday Morning Truth social post, the president criticized the boss, Bruce Springsteen, for going to a foreign country to speak badly about the president of the United States. The president's comments comes days after Springsteen lambasted Trump during the first show of his latest tour with the E Street Band. Speaking at the Manchester, UK-based concert on Wednesday, Springsteen branded the Trump administration's corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous. And he called on all who believe in democracy and the best of our American experience to rise with us. Springsteen said, raise your voices against authoritarianism and let freedom ring. Yes.
They're trying to Dixie chick the boss?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, anyhow,
they're trying to get people to end up boycotting him and burning his records and all this stuff like it, just like they did to the Dixie Chicks 20 years ago.
Right. Well, the set list was a marked departure from the band's post-pandemic shows, while the last few years have seen Springsteen play a mostly autobiographical, introspective set, devoid of political statements that have been the hallmark of his career. The performance on Wednesday, Springsteen's first since Trump's return to the Oval Office, included several songs that were somewhat political. A representative for Springsteen did not respond to a request for comments after the Trump social media post. This is what he said, number 47. He accused Springsteen of not being a talented guy.
Oh.
An ironic allegation given that Trump previously featured the rockers born in the USA at multiple rallies without Springsteen's consent. Mm-hmm. And the Post also slammed Springsteen for speaking out against the president while abroad rather than waiting until he got on U.S. soil. These are the words of the president of the United States. He wrote, "This dried out prune of a rocker, his skin is all atrophied, ought to, in all caps, keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country. That's just standard fare," Trump wrote. "Then we'll see how it goes for him."
Oh my gosh.
Springsteen has supported and campaigned for several Democratic candidates throughout his career. Trump, of course, has a history of criticizing other notable entertainment figures such as George Clooney, Taylor Swift, and Meryl Streep. And I thought we had free speech in our country. How dare the president of the United States, he threatened the boss.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, Felon 47 doesn't realize that we do not drop our constitutional rights when we cross an international border. Springsteen still has his First Amendment rights, and he's allowed to use them. So there you go.
And that was the one thing that the GOP and the Mangus, that they said that we did not give them, which was the right of free speech. And now that we're exercising our right to free speech, that's wrong. That's treasonous, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, we have Pope news.
Oh, I was hoping that you would. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Pope welcomes sinner to the Vatican. Pope Leo XIV was gifted a tennis racket by the world's number one player, Jannik Sinner. That's his name. On Wednesday, Sinner offered to volley with the pontiff, who declined, saying, "We might break something." I like this Pope already. He has a sense of humor. Beyond the buzz around the newly elected Pope, possible course for the Catholic Church moving forward, and the novelty of him being an American, the pontiff is getting a lot of attention for the fact that he is a sports fan. Now, Sinner says he wants no trouble. Earlier in the week, the Pope said that he would be open to playing a charity match as long as they don't bring in Sinner. Making light of the English language meaning of the name. Sinner was said to have responded, "Are you trying to get me into trouble?" to news of the possibility of playing the Pope. The top-ranked player was accompanied Wednesday by his family and also the Italian Federation, Tennis Federation president. He posed for photos with the new pontiff in front of the Davis Cup, which Sinner and also the Italian Tennis Federation brought with him. And Sinner, who has just returned from a 3-month doping ban for what was judged an accidental infraction, will be facing Casper Ruud in the Thursday's Italian Open quarterfinal match in Rome. And so last week we went ahead and we told you the truth to the story that he is a White Sox fan and not a Cubs fan.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't found out whether he's a Bears fan or not. Have I left you speechless, Jeff Radcliff?
No, I'm just thinking about all those little mega people out there who are hucked off about this. They have been grasping at straws, trying to find ways to criticize and denigrate the Pope, including his heritage and the fact that he is Creole and has some black ancestors. They clutched their lily white pearls in horror when they found that out. So yeah, I'm just sitting back and laughing at these people because what else What else can you do? We just have to remember, in the big scheme of things, no matter what it looks like,
Yes.
they're not presenting their divinity in a very positive light, but we still have to remember that they are also God in expression.
Right.
No matter how crazy the conspiracy theories, no matter how hateful and racist they are, it's
Yeah,
God
we have
showing up.
Yeah, before we go to our last story, we have a comment from Tim. He said, every one of my friends who are traditional Republicans are outraged at what MAGA has done to their party and to America. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same here. Anybody who is a traditional Republican, even a Reagan era Republican, are just out of their minds about this. You know, the grand old party used to have some integrity. Who walked Richard Nixon out of the White House? It was the Republicans that did that, who went over and said, Mr. President, you need to resign.
That's when they had some honor.
Yeah, well, that's, again, folks, let not your hearts be troubled here. Continue your prayer for our wonderful country. Continue seeing the good in it, of which there is.
Mm-hmm.
And one last story from the great state of Ohio. After an Ohio man burns 100 library books with LGBTQ plus Black and Jewish themes, the community responds. This is from a library north of me. An unidentified man in Ohio who checked out 100 books, including those with an LGBTQ plus content from a local library, and burned them in a video posted to social media, might not face criminal punishment. So the man entered the Beechwood Public Library. Folks, if you don't know where Beechwood is, look it up on Google Maps. On April the 2nd, and applied for a library card, according to a report of the incident from the Beechwood Police Department. And then he checked out 50 books regarding Jewish history, African American history, and LGBTQ education. So the man then went home, and the following day was posted to social media a picture showing an open car trunk with the caption, "Cleansing the Library." Some of the books reportedly had stickers showing clearly that they belonged to the library. The post was reported to the library by the Princeton University Bridging Divides Initiative, which monitors online hate activity, Cleveland.com reported. So the man, again, he entered the public library, he took out all these books, he went home, and again, went ahead and then burned them and taped it for social media. So police said again that he went home and he set all 100 books ablaze. Now, the reason that he may not get cited for it is because the unnamed man's alleged allegations appears to violate Ohio State Code Section 2909.05 regarding vandalism. The code makes it illegal to knowingly cause serious physical harm to property that is owned, leased, or controlled by a governmental entity, and such actions are considered a fifth-degree felony, punishable by a fine of up to $2,500. Now, what happened is that more likely this guy's not going to be punished. But local communities and faith-based leaders went ahead, and the Interfaith Group Against Hate held a press conference on Monday where they promised to donate 1,000 books, 10 books for every book burned. Reverend Ryan Wallace of the Fairmont Presbyterian Church said at the press conference, "Our goal is to collect 1,000 new books that lift up Black, Jewish, and LGBTQ plus voices and experiences, and to share those books in libraries and community organizations and congregations all across our county." The Interfaith Group Against Hate wants to take this action of hate and turn it into a powerful symbol of unity, solidarity, and love. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But seriously, on the other hand, why is the library giving him that many books at once?
I
Don't
don't
they have
know.
a limit, a checkout limit? I mean, that's just lunacy.
I used
I
to.
bet, I bet they will limit the number of books now, especially if they follow Jewish, Black, and LGBTQ themes. They're
Isn't
not
that
going to want a repeat of this.
But again, that, love trumps hate here.
Yeah.
And that's where, again, when these acts happen, is that people of the light, people who are aware, they step up, they do acts like this to counter the hate out there.
Mhm.
And it's not this one person's job to remove those books from the library. And this self-appointed librarian who went ahead and, again, subjects that need to be discussed. And guess what?
Out of time.
We're out of time.
We're over time.
Great week, Reverend Jeff. Thank you so very much for another great show. We appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to talk to Reverend Dr. Brzezinski about my demotion.
Yeah.
Now, are you getting my extra pay now?
I am. 0 times 0 is 0.
All right.
I doubled my income.
You did. Jeff, thank you so very much. And folks, we are out of time and we're over time. And again, thank you so very much for joining us this week. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel for more Friday evening fireside chat here on your New Thought Media Network. On behalf of all of us here at our wonderful network, I am Reverend Michael. I'm going to wish you a very pleasant good night and also a wonderful week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.